Whoa, I've just been given a Casio that has never been seen before on YouTube. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Today is all about a long-lost Casio. Yeah, a watch that has never been shown on YouTube before, okay? Now, as you know, I am a lover of this brand. My first recollection of ever buying a watch was the CA53W with my mum at Argos.
What a day that was!
Vintage Casio gives me great warm memories of the good old days where you didn't have a mortgage, didn't have kids, didn't have a wife. She's watching, so I won't say wife, but didn't have all this responsibility. And the only thing you needed to know was work out how to use the stopwatch. Now, since being heavily in this watch collecting hobby, there is one watch I have always been searching for and looking out on websites like eBay and any forums that may be selling this watch. For your information, it first came out in 1986 and was around for a decade. Now, I never had this as a kid, but if I had have done,
oh, I would have loved it.
Now, it's quite a specific reference and it's to do with a certain specific sport. Tennis! Yes, for those of you that don't know, I am a tennis coach by day. Hitting a ball over a net with someone else is my profession. Yeah. So a Casio watch that was specifically for tennis, I had to have it. It is now where I have to say a huge thank you to someone, and that is Simon. Big friend and subscriber of the Mad Watch Collector channel. One day he gave me a text message and said,
"I've got you something."
And I said, "Oh yeah, what is it?" And when he showed me the picture of it, my legs went all trembly. Yes, a huge thank you to Simon, who gifted me this watch. Can you believe it? He bought it on eBay, and let me tell you, it was not cheap. It's a new old stock. There won't be anyone in the world that can find a better conditioned one of these. I'm truly grateful, Simon. He's a lover of all watches and is actually the administrator for the Zero West Facebook collective group. And if you're a lover of Zero West, get on that group. Anyway, I've teased you long enough. It's time to see the watch. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the LW-70T, the tennis counter. Isn't it wonderful? It is very hard to believe that this was made in the 80s because it looks brand new, people. Like I said, this watch was dedicated to tennis players because it does quite a fancy feature that I'll show in a minute that no other Casio does. Anyway, what struck me first was how small it was. You know, I've got a 6.5-inch wrist. I'm used to buying and owning small Casios, but when you put this up to the F91 that has a case diameter of 33 millimeters, well, yeah, it's small, isn't it? It's a white resin case with 3 resin pushers and an adjust button that is recessed into that case. We've got a regular Casio case back, definitely not a regular module though, with a 516. The watch is water resistant to 50 meters, but this one won't go near any water, let me tell you that. But look at that dial face. Casio are absolute masters of creating amazing LCD screens. I love the framing around the LCD display in blue and in pinky red. And how cool is that tennis counter logo below the screen? They need to bring this back. Other thing I love, which I hadn't noticed before, is on the case at the bottom, it says casual sport. There is no way the tennis I play is a casual sport.
Tough sport.
The strap is not your usual resin. It's more a rubber, much better than usual ones, but it's so thin. No way is this watch for a big wrister, but I really do like that small WR50 that they've sunken into the strap. Anyway, like I said, the module is 516 and the modes are this. So the bottom left pusher is your mode, and because it is a tennis counter, we have its main feature, and it is effectively a scoreboard. So when you're playing your tennis and you win a point, you can either add it to your side or you can add it to your opponent's side. Once you've won the game, you press the button and a sound I have never heard a Casio make, but as you can see in the top right of the screen, it shows you the amount of games. How cool is that? I mean, we're not breaking any barriers with sort of smart apps and so on, but this sort of thing gets me going far more than a blooming step counter. Truly a magnificent feature that you can't get on any Casio, and I'm not sure you ever will. Anyway, what else comes with this module? You have got your beautiful stopwatch and you have an alarm. That's it. This watch came in several colors. colours. I think there was a creamy coloured one, a pinkish one. But to finally get the tennis counter in my Casio collection, well, it's Grail achieved and could not have been done without Simon.
You naughty rascal. Hello.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and yes, even this Casio looks too small. However, it is for sport. You're not supposed to feel it on the wrist when you are hitting a forehand or a backhand. And you know what? I am starting to get used to it. On the tennis court is where I would wear this 100%. Even though nowadays it's probably one of a kind, it still needs to do the job it was made to do. And I flipping love it. Now, the only thing I wish was different with this watch is the size. It is a bit small, and it did sort of take me back, you know? If and when Casio come a-calling for a collaboration, I want us to bring back the tennis counter watch. If anyone from Casio is listening out there, come on, let's start a talking. Well, here it is, my wife's first impressions of the beautiful tennis counter, a watch that you cannot find anywhere else in the world. You know, I say that most of your digital watches are kids' watches. Well, this is the worst one. I'd say it's even too small for my wrist. However, I do like the colours and it is very playful. But tell me you haven't bought this. Well, fortunately for the wife, I didn't, but I'm so glad someone did. Yes, Casio corner time again, and we've got to say a big thank you to My Time Machine 24. A beautiful and simple shot of the A158, a watch I love, with one of the worst backlights in the history of Casio, but it's the blingy brother of the F91W, isn't it? Great shot, my friend, and thank you so much for tagging me in. If you'd like to be on the next Casio corner, all you gotta do, find me on Instagram here and tag me in on one of your Casio posts. Who knows? Next time, the star of the show could be you. Thank you so much for watching till the end of the show. It really means a lot to me. If you want a bit more of the Mad Watch Collector, click there. You want some merch? Who doesn't? Click there, down there somewhere. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you click this one? Oh my gosh, this is pretty sensational. One of my favorites. Yeah, Casio. Beautiful. Go on, click it. Click it.